ring. I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, we only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Madrimov.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Charlo shares his thoughts on why he sees Canelo coming out on top against Terence Crawford. He believes the deciding factor will be how long Crawford can handle the powerful punches coming at him. Charlo highlights that Crawford is already stepping up in weight to take on Canelo, which only adds to the difficulty of the matchup. In his view, the outcome depends on how well Crawford can deal with Canelo's strength and non-stop pressure through all the rounds. Experts also mention that Terence was unable to do serious damage to Madrimov, who is nowhere near the level of Canelo. Even though Crawford looked impressive against Errol Spence, this is a completely different test. Canelo is a proven champion who has stayed more active in recent years, and being younger adds to the challenge, making him a more dangerous opponent for Bud.
10-0. That never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. That never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Madrimov. Canelo Alvarez is no Errol Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, and he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kelbrook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican shit, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
L. Brooks says he supports Canelo Alvarez in a fight against Terence Crawford because Canelo is a very different kind of fighter than anyone Crawford has faced before. Brooke points out that even though Crawford's win over Errol Spence was impressive, it does not get him ready for what Canelo brings. Canelo's strength, experience, and skill to control fights in higher weight classes make him stand out from Spence and others. Brooke thinks Crawford has never fought someone with Canelo's power, skill, and smartness in the ring, which makes this fight one of the hardest tests of his career.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up. And, I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe out-moving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Analysts say that Terence Crawford might be too small to really hurt Canelo Alvarez because he is moving up almost 3 weight classes with little experience at 154 pounds. They compare this to Floyd Mayweather, who fought many top fighters before facing Canelo. Crawford has only faced Madrimov at that level. Gabe Rosado says that when fighters are used to stronger opponents in higher weight classes, punches from smaller divisions do not have the same impact. This makes people wonder how Crawford will deal with Canelo's power.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37. He fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just going to have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it. And I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense, like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small, and he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid, and when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple. Right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Analysts keep pointing out a key factor in the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The big question is if Crawford can handle Canelo's punches and take the kind of power that has stopped or slowed many fighters before. Some think Canelo looks slow and easy to deal with, but experts say this is not true. His style is careful and smart, based on balanced timing and efficiency. By staying steady and using strong basics, Canelo makes sure every punch hits hard. This is the challenge for Crawford. His defense and movement might help him avoid punches for a long time, but Canelo is patient and will find openings. When that happens, the real test is if Crawford can stay calm under heavy attack. Many experts agree the fight may not be about who throws more punches, but if Crawford's chin and body can take the damage.
Is Crawford going to be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo going to be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it, and that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands, and he's perfected that rolling with the punch thing.
The night Crawford fought Errol Spence is seen as one of the most complete and powerful performances in boxing history. Crawford showed all parts of his skills: speed, accuracy, timing, defense, and ability to finish fights. He defeated a fighter who was once thought to be one of the best welterweights in the world and made it look easy. Many say this fight secured Crawford's place as one of the best fighters of his time. Now his training partners say he looks even better than he did then. They say his speed is still quick, his reflexes are sharp, and his fitness is at its highest. Even though he is older, Crawford seems to have improved his style and focus more. People who have seen his recent training believe he is in the best shape of his career. This confidence might be what gives him an advantage against a tough opponent like Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm going to be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days. I'm not a historian. But as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to. Errol Spence, dangerous southpaw at the time. I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavic gave advice on how Crawford can beat Canelo. His focus is on the early rounds. Pavic says Crawford must not let Canelo control the pace. Instead, Crawford should use his footwork combinations and smart thinking in the ring to make Canelo work harder than usual. The plan is clear. If Crawford makes Canelo throw more punches, move his feet more, and chase the fight, he can wear down the Mexican champion's energy. Canelo has shown he slows down in the late rounds of long fights. Pavic thinks this is where Crawford has a chance. By keeping pressure early, Crawford can reduce Canelo's power later and maybe win by points or even stop him late in the fight.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on. Put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds. Because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, he could really step it up.
Dan Rafael made a key point when looking at the experience of both fighters. He said Canelo has already fought and taken punches from fighters who moved up from lighter weight classes. Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto are examples of smaller opponents who challenged him at higher weights. Canelo not only fought them, but also adjusted to their speed and timing, showing he could handle punches from smaller men. On the other hand, Crawford has not fought a bigger opponent with the same strength and size that Canelo has. Crawford has been great in many weight classes, but fighting someone who is comfortable at higher weights is a new challenge. Rafael's point shows that Canelo's experience against many types of fighters could give him an important edge over Crawford, who has not faced this kind of power and size yet.
Dan Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes, because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically,
he's so used to taking those shots, whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
if you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergei Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
Not even getting wobbled.
just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Mikey Garcia has been very clear in his prediction. He thinks Canelo can hurt Terence Crawford badly. Garcia says that even though Crawford is very skilled, his defense might not be enough to stop the power of Canelo's punches. Garcia talked about the body shots, especially saying Canelo's skill to wear down fighters with hooks to the ribs and uppercuts to the body is one of his strongest weapons. According to Garcia, Crawford is a great technician, but skill can only do so much when facing raw power at a higher weight. He sees the fight as very dangerous for Crawford because once Canelo lands big punches, it can change the fight quickly. Garcia's words show many experts worry that the size and power difference might be too much for Crawford to beat.
Happens when he takes a shot from Canelo. One of those uppercuts from Munguia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Sure, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio has a more hopeful view of Crawford's chances by focusing on his mental strength. He says Crawford is known for imagining his fights long before he enters the ring. This means he already understands the challenges Canelo brings and has practiced in his mind how to handle them. According to Antonio, Crawford's power is in his ability to adapt and his smartness. He never depends only on physical strength, but builds his success by adjusting to opponents, breaking them down, and controlling the fight's pace. Antonio thinks this fight is not about weight classes, but about skill. He believes if Crawford follows his plan, while his versatility and boxing intelligence could help him overcome Canelo's physical advantages.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more.